Mainly on this channel, I speak about ways to save money, choices we make in frugality, ideas for budgeting. But on Wednesdays, I like to step away from that every once in a while, and I do a thing, this show, called the We Can Do It Wednesday Show. Hi, I'm Jan. I love helping people keep some more of their own hard earned money. And today we're going to get into do overs. Now, I use the term do overs for, well, some people call them leftovers. I prefer to call those meals do overs. But in this case today, we're going to use do over for another meaning, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so many who are familiar with my channel, with my ways, know that I like to call leftovers instead of leftovers, do overs. Why? Because there's just a way and there's just a way. Some people connotate leftover meals as stale, old, boring. Oh my gosh. But in my mind's eye, I look at leftover meal components as future creations, money in my pocket because I don't have to take more out. But that's the way I look at it. But today we're going to talk about do overs for a minute. Many times people let their past determine their present and their future. Now, that's not to say that your past means nothing. No, not really, because our past does help shape us in a way. As to stuff that we're used to, things that we've done. But I'm talking about like sometimes people focus on past failures in life. And what does that have to do with saving money? I think a lot. I think a lot. And I think part of it is because people do not give themselves an opportunity to do two words. And there goes the traffic. My goodness gracious at this hour. And it's 6:17 a.m. my time, and I'm trying to record this during a quieter time of the day. Sorry about that traffic sound if you heard it. Okay, there you go. Don't let past, let's say some people call them failures, mistakes, whatever, disappointments, do not let it determine your future. And especially when it does come to saving money or even just aspiring to do things. Okay. I look back at some of my own creative works like that maybe I created about 4 years ago. Go, "Bleh, really?" I'm not even just speaking of this stuff on here, but I'm speaking of maybe stuff that I've written or whatever, but things that might have gotten published, whatever. And I go, could have done better. Well, back then I didn't know better because we evolve and we grow. Example, when I was a school teacher, okay, and I taught the third and the sixth grade, I taught them in separate intervals. I taught the third grade for 4 years in a row, and I taught grade six 2 years in a row. Now, because of the way that happened, I went up later on to the sixth grade level. I actually got some of the same students a couple of times already that I already knew their capabilities. So they went from the third, and then they went up to the sixth eventually. Would I have expected a third grader to do what a sixth, seventh, or eighth grader should do? No. We evolve, we grow. Experience is the best teacher. But that does not mean that because things didn't quite measure up to whatever it is you're looking for, that measuring stick of measuring up to whatever standard it is that you're looking for right now. That doesn't mean you shouldn't plot ahead. This holds back a lot of people. A lack of confidence. Not that people can't do things, but sometimes people make up their mind that they can't do things when in actuality they can't. If someone were to say to me, 6 years ago, Jan, you were going to start a YouTube channel, and your original focus was going to be on a completely different subject than frugality. And you were going to make daily uploads continuously for above 5 years. If somebody were to tell me that, I would laugh in their face, go, yeah, right. But That has proven to be a different thing. I love giving out messages. I found that I do love giving out messages because I did teach. That's part of who I am. Knowing who you are is really, really important. That does not mean you are being boastful. It means that you know who you are and whom you belong to. But that goes into my faith based beliefs. You see, I believe that every single person listening to this audio video, okay, we all have a message to give. Some people give their message in the form of writing. Some people give their message in the form of gabbing, like yours truly, okay? Just saying, just saying. Everybody has a message to give. Some people give their messages in their creativity in art or in their creativity of music, okay? Everyone is just so magnificently made. If all of us only focus on our failures, how can any of us grow and go forward? Do not let past mistakes, do not let naysayers. Listen, let me tell you something. naysayers naysayers want to accomplish one thing: to stop someone else getting ahead. And the reason they're naysayers, this is just my personal opinion. You don't take it to the bank. This is my belief with naysayers. Naysayers feel inadequate. So, in other words, it makes them feel better to knock someone else because it makes them feel like, well, now they're back to the same level playing field. Do not let naysayers, stop you from being you. You have and including the naysayer. That naysayer should look in the mirror and say, you know what? I don't want to be a naysayer today. I want to focus on how can I do a better job at being a better person, and let everyone else just be their best selves as we were created to and are meant to be. Some people are gifted in the speaking arena. Some people are gifted in the listening arena. And let me tell you something. We certainly need good listeners in this world. Because I'll be honest with you, in the fast-paced society that we live in, a lot of people are too busy being busy to take a minute to listen. And I really, really mean it. I am not referring to necessarily listening to an audio show for a few minutes that you chose to do because you know that, well, for a few minutes you're going to be listening to an audio show because you chose to. But I'm talking about like being a patient person. There are people out there, let's say like my mom was, as I mentioned once in a previous video, she was a great listener. My mom had deep compassion to be a listener, way more patient than I could ever be. Everyone is gifted in different ways. But to let a naysayer or a past disappointment or a past failure stop you from moving forward and being your best possible self is so not fair to you. Think about this. This is really serious. This is your life. We only have a finite amount of time here to leave our thumbprint in the world. Ask yourself, what thumbprint do you want to leave in this world? I choose to leave positive, helpful messages. If I helped a handful of people in my lifetime, I did my job. Have a good day, everybody.